Hello and welcome to Outlook on Air. This podcast is designed to keep you connected with all things Outlook, with special emphasis on our enrichment program and its many activities and services. On this podcast, we'll hear from Outlook associates, donors to our many programs, clients of our services, and much more. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this edition of Outlook on Air. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Outlook on Air from our palatial podcast studio here at Outlook in Richmond. I'm your host, Dennis Nelson. Jam-packed podcast today. Going to meet some associates that work here at Outlook, and they'll tell you a little bit about what they do and all that sort of thing. In fact, two of them are on their way now. Hi, who are you?
Well, I'm Ken Blackman. I've been with Outlook for 18 years. I work on the converting floor. I work on the packaging line doing quality control.
My name is Drew Zander. I've been in Outlook for a little over 14 years. Like Kenny, I'm on first shift, which is 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And I kind of float around and do a little bit of everything.
He makes sure that I have boxes so I can do my packing.
Yeah.
All right. That's always helpful. What brought you to Outlook, Nebraska, in your case?
Well, in my case, I'm from a small town in Iowa, and after I lost my sight, there just wasn't anything there. So for many years, I didn't do really anything, didn't know what I was going to do, and then I found out about Outlook. So I came and did an interview, and I started like a couple months after the interview, and here I am, 18 years later.
And Drew, how about you?
I was in school, and I just needed a change, and I had a cousin who worked here, and she said there was an opening, so I put in an application. I, talked to Mark, and we got everything straightened out and hammered down, and here I am.
What do you enjoy most about working here?
People coming to work and just getting out of the house and actually having a job, be productive.
Chance to socialize.
Exactly, socialize, and and some of that independence that I lost, when I did have my sight after I lost it, I gained it back. So, and different events and going to different things, and you're right, just socializing, getting out and doing stuff. And when I got here, I didn't have any computer skills, and no iPhone stuff, none of that stuff. All I had was a flip phone, and that took me forever. People convinced me, you gotta get rid of that thing. You got to get an iPhone, dude. This ain't gonna happen. You just got to keep up with the times.
Sure.
And and that's where our enrichment center came in.
The training department.
Yeah. Training department. Yep. And that's where I learned all my stuff: my computer, my iPhone, and any other kind of device that you use. When you're totally blind or even your low vision.
Sure.
That's how I learned all my stuff through Outlook.
Wow, that's pretty amazing stuff, and you've learned it well too. How about you, Drew?
Yeah, Kenny, I thought you were going to throw your iPhone across 72nd Street a few times.
There was a few times that it just about went out there.
I think we've all done that a time or two.
Just takes practice.
Yeah, really. Any additional comments that you have, Drew?
Yeah, it's the people. It's the culture. That culture is a big thing that they promote, and they do a very good job about it from the top to the bottom. You could come in and you might have a cruddy day or going through some stuff, and people are gonna ask, hey, how you doing? If you want to talk, I'm always here for you. So
yeah, even if it's work related or you got something personal going on, they always got your back. What can we do? How can we help you? What's going on here? So
that's awesome.
It's that family type of thing.
How has Outlook helped you grow both personally and professionally?
Oh, with me, it was just the independence because after I lost my sight, I was pretty nervous and scared. Didn't really go do too many things, but once I had to move to Omaha, that was a whole big step. So that's when I just had to, kick it into high gear and say, look, if you're going to get around, you got to learn this stuff, So riding the the paratransit bus to work,
Sure.
use an Uber, or a taxi or whatever, whatnot, and just navigational skills, just getting it better in tune to be able to move around and go and do what I want to do.
And I would think that having a lot of people here doing the same kinds of things and learning from them, you probably grew and learned just from them as well.
Oh, exactly. Because when I started, when I got here, it was like, oh, wow, like these people in the same position I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and they showed me some tricks and showed me this and helped me out, and it all panned out. It all worked out good.
Drew, how about you personally and professionally? How has Outlook helped you grow?
Yeah, Outlook is just helped me tremendously. I've been on, a lot of committees, and I've put my voice and my opinion out there, and, people listen to it, and it's just, those 14 years, somebody will look at that and say, wow, that's a long time. And yeah, but it goes by super quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember starting here, and it was, bare bones. Everything was kind of old school and by hand. And now, we're getting $1 million pieces of equipment, and it's all automated, and it's heads and tails. We're in the modern era of toilet paper making.
Yeah, that we are.
Me and Drew have been here long enough that we've kind of grew with the company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Since I've been here since '07, and it was like you said, it was pretty. We just had a few machines to get the place rolling, and now it's just we have grown so big and so fast. It just
when I started here, and even when Kenny started here, we didn't have a maintenance department. But now we've got a maintenance department and parts and everything that's cataloged, and it's
that's just the growth.
Yeah.
The growth of the whole thing.
Sure.
And the more growth, there's more opportunities for people to come in and get a job.
What's a moment or memory here at Outlook that maybe has stuck with you through the years?
Oh, geez.
Wow, that's a lot.
I
It's
know,
a lot.
It's a loaded question.
There's more than
There's
one.
a lot, yeah.
If you had to pick one.
Oh.
I guess it was my third year here, and I got they gave me Employee of the Year.
Oh, how nice.
So I got to go to Cincinnati and tour some other agencies, and yeah, that was pretty cool.
I was fortunate and quite surprised that I also received that award last year.
I got a lot of moments, but a lot of the times it's just being able to come to work and, whoever you're working with that day or week or whatever, whatnot, everybody's kind of joking and laughing and just, doing their thing, just enjoying it.
That always makes the atmosphere more pleasant and the day go by that much faster, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Very much so. Very much so. Yes.
Especially on a Friday.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So what's one thing that you wish more people knew about the work we do?
Come through for a tour. Everybody who's come through for a tour that I've talked to, 99.999% of them have just been blown away.
Being able to see what we actually can do with the right technologies, with our equipment, with our voiceover on them and our speech, so we can run and operate our machines, and just being able to do the job. There's a lot of things we can do. We just got to do it in a little bit of a different way.
So you're kind of saying seeing is believing in your case.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Can you share a little bit about your vision loss journey, if you would?
Well, mine started, I was diagnosed at 10 years old as a juvenile, diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been a diabetic all my life.
Mm-hmm.
So, I did pretty well all up through high school and everything. But as soon as I got out of high school, I started having some vision problems. And then, I had a bunch of laser surgeries and some other surgeries on both my eyes. And then finally, in 92, I lost my left eye. And then in 94, I lost my right eye.
Mm.
And I was 29
Wow.
when I lost it all.
That had to be a big adjustment.
Oh, yeah. I just got done with vacation that week. And I was going to work. I got in the truck. I make my pit stop at Casey's to get my coffee. And I went inside, got my coffee, got back out to the truck. And I went, ooh, this ain't good. It's getting all blurry. And by that time, I only had my right eye.
Yeah.
And then it started getting all orangey, and I went, uh-oh, this ain't good. So I turned around and got back to the house, barely. Wow. Got a hold of my parents and said, we got to go. And drove up to Omaha, got to the hospital, and that was probably like 7:30 that morning. And by 10 o'clock, he had me in emergency surgery, trying to save that eye. Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah, and that was in October of 94. But then I had 5 more surgeries on that eye, and it just finally it just wouldn't take anymore. It just didn't work. So, yeah, that was the end of that right there.
That had to be a huge adjustment. In fact, my follow-up question to that is, what has been one of the biggest challenges that you've had to face, with your sudden vision loss? So maybe this would be a good time to work that in as well.
Well, it was just being scared.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know Outlook existed. I had no idea where to go, what to do. It's kind of like, after my last doctor's appointment, they said, well, there's nothing more we can do,
Yeah.
Have a nice day. See ya. And I didn't have any idea what was, and then that's when the being angry, the depression, all that set in.
Yeah.
And that hung on to me for I didn't do nothing for 14 years.
Mm.
I moved in with my parents and just trying to figure it out. Scared to go or do anything. Of course, I did go with places with my mom and dad.
Sure.
And some of my friends. Places I knew in my hometown and stuff like that. But just to venture out on my own and stuff, no.
So it was Outlook really that helped you overcome all that.
Yeah.
Wow. Pretty
Yeah.
amazing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Drew, how about you? How about your vision loss and that sort of thing?
Well, honestly, so on my right eye, the optic nerve isn't quite connected all the way. I've never really looked into it a whole lot because there's really nothing they can do. Mm-hmm. They can kind of go into it, and they said they can mess with it, but it might make it better. It might make it worse. I mean, for what I got now, it's not terrible, but it's like it's probably not going to get better, and obviously you don't want it to get worse.
So unlike Kenny, you haven't lost all of your sight.
No.
I see.
No.
Well,
so I mean,
you're hanging on to what you got, right?
Something like that, yeah.
How has your perspective changed on life or work since, experiencing your vision loss, as long as you're kind of going down that road anyway?
It's always kind of been the same for me. I've never really looked at it differently. I've had it, I'm going to be 35 next month. Mm-hmm. And so I've just gotten used to it and just kind of kept chugging along. So there's really nothing crazy different. I really just can't drive anymore, which that's just my choice.
Sure.
And yeah, it sucks. It does. But if you look at it, it's like, what's the cost of a vehicle going to run you? Maintenance, all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So
With me, it was like either adapt or don't adapt and survive. It's one of those deals. You just got to move on and do the best you can. And and there's days I still get frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
There's days that I do get frustrated and I get down.
Oh yeah.
And it's like kind of like, why? Why me? But then I turn around and think about it a little bit, like man, you don't have it so bad.
It could be a lot worse.
You don't have it so bad. You got a job, you got a roof over your head, you got clothes, you got food.
Right.
I got good kids, I got good grandkids. So that keeps me going.
Can help make up for it, sure.
It makes up for it.
How about tools, skills, or strategies that maybe you've found that have been helpful in making this adjustment? Anything that you do now and do differently that you've lost your vision?
I notice I key in a lot better with my hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can. It's a lot different to how to pick up on things, especially when I'm walking around or in different places. You learn how to you pick up and key on things so you can navigate a little better around in in buildings and stuff.
For me, it's kind of weird, but when I mow, I let the grass grow a little longer.
So you can find it better?
Just to follow that line a little better.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense.
And I know a lot of people say, oh, your grass is getting too long. Well,
there's a reason.
There's a reason.
In your case, yeah.
And also, I don't care that it doesn't look like a golf course green. I don't. I don't need to mow it every week.
And there's little tricks when I'm cooking, and stuff like that. Everybody's got their own little technique on what works for them. You just kind of got to figure it out for yourself. When you're cooking or doing your laundry or whatever you're doing.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's turn our attention to the mission of Outlook for a minute. And why is that mission that Outlook purports to have, why is that so important to you?
That mission has pretty much saved me with what Outlook is doing and helping people. It got my feet back on the ground. Like I said earlier about having a job and being able to do things and go places and all that stuff. And we're here, people, like Drew was saying earlier, people got to come in and take a tour and learn about us and what we can do for people, what is here for them. Either job opportunity or the training center or whatever, whatever you got issues with, just come in, call our HR department, anything, we will get you what you need, get you in the right direction. The whole,
That's awesome.
There's a lot of people, I think, that need a lot of help.
Yeah, the mission here, it goes a long ways, not just inside. I've talked to Lyft drivers and Uber drivers who know about this place because they drop people off and pick people up.
Sure.
And our products that we make, our toilet paper and paper towels, they go worldwide.
Yeah, they do.
So
we get the military.
There's people who've sent pictures in from the Middle East with our products, and with 2020 and 2021 putting our stuffs on store shelves and inviting people to come and buy our products and pick it up. That gets us out there. They'll say, hey, if it wasn't for Outlook, we wouldn't have had toilet paper.
Sure.
And all the other recreational things, all those things that we do that can bring in younger people.
Right.
To introduce them to Outlook and get involved in recreational things that we do.
And, the events we have are, we've got our yearly banquet. A lot of times if we go to the same spot, people know us.
It's true.
They know, hey, Outlook's coming. We've had them here for 2 or 3 years so far, and they're great. We want to team up with you.
You consider yourselves to both be role models?
Yeah, kind of. Because, I've been here long enough, and when we get somebody that's new, and I can remember how I felt when I was in here, when I was first starting and I was new, I'm a little nervous, so if I'm working with them and they're trying to figured it out and get accommodated, it just help them. Show them little tricks, to make it go easier and, stuff like that, I guess. Because I've been in those shoes 18 years ago.
Sure. And you would be a role model, certainly to new people coming in that don't know you and all that kind of thing.
Right.
So that's kind of where I think that question is coming from.
Just try to help them out the best you can. And so they're at ease, I guess, not so nervous about things. It'll be okay.
Yep, I think the respect and the role model, those two go hand in hand, because those of us who've been here a long time, if Mark or Eric or Brad or somebody, if they need help with something, they could come and ask one of us people who've been here a long time, because they respect us. They know that we're going to represent the company in a good way.
That's pretty much everybody across the board, though. They ask everybody to,
And they know that they've got a good a good group of people to pull from.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. How do you think that Outlook is making a difference in the lives of others, especially those, of course, with visual loss or vision loss?
Giving them freedom.
They know they've
Wait.
got some options.
Yeah, the freedom, to like, well, back to me, with the computer and stuff. Once I got on that and learned how to do that, I'm looking up stuff. I'm doing the email thing. I'm doing all this stuff.
You and your Amazon
Hey,
addiction.
Well, yeah, I got to stop that. But yeah, it's like a freedom thing. You don't have to be secluded sitting in your house all by yourself.
If you got parents or grandparents or even aunts and uncles who they've got kids or grandkids or nieces or nephews that have vision loss or are blind or whatnot, they can say, we know Outlook has recreation programs for kids. So they can get their kids, grandkids, whatever, out and help them to come out of their shell more.
Sure.
Yeah,
with kids or teens around the same age who have the same interest, and that then they can build friendships. So you're not just alone or at home.
Yeah, and that just that kind of goes back to the independence and the self-confidence,
Right.
To get out and get involved and do stuff.
Yep. And if you've got younger kids, younger teens at that age that have that confidence, that's hopefully it's going to carry into adulthood.
Is there a particular hobby or activity that either of you enjoy doing in your free time?
I listen to a lot of music. Yeah, I like doing that, and I kind of like to cook myself. Actually, I always throw something together. I'm always cooking something. Kind of experiment and try different things, and I like listening. I like old movies.
Mm-hmm.
Some old movies. I like to watch movies, so it's about what I do.
Well, back in November-ish or so, I got a dehydrator. So I've been making my own jerky and all that kind of stuff, which everybody knows how expensive a package of jerky is.
Sure. Yeah.
So if you buy something in bulk, you could slice it and marinate it and do it yourself, but it's not just meat, fruits, vegetables, anything.
Yeah.
So that's always a fun project.
I always like the old classic muscle cars too. So when I get a chance, I watch some of those TV shows, and if I can, I get to some car shows
Awesome.
during the summertime and the fall, if I can get out and go to them once in a while. So
If Outlook had a mascot or a theme song, what do you think that might be?
Oh.
Or what would you like it to be? What do you think it should be?
I got a song, 40-Hour Week by Alabama.
Yeah.
That's our theme song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
That works.
The mascot? We have a toilet paper roll and make him look like the Michelin Man.
Yeah, there you go.
I like
A
it.
good puffy roll of 2-ply.
Yep, there you go.
I like it.
Yep.
What advice would you give to someone who is just beginning to lose their vision? And you've both been through some of that. So if you had some advice you could hand out, what would that be?
Don't give up. Don't be scared. There's help out there. Call Outlook. And we will get you in the right direction that you need to be to get you wherever you want to do. It'll probably be a little bit of a challenge. That's no lie. But there's enough help and technology that you'll be able to manage it and get through it. And there's job opportunities. You learn the right skills. You just keep working. Don't give up.
Yep, you gotta be in the right mindset, because if you go down the path of negativity, it's not gonna go anywhere.
Life isn't over just because you lose your eyesight.
Right.
You just,
there's
it just changes a little bit. You do things a little bit differently, but life goes on and it'll all be good.
Yep, there's resources out there.
Mm-hmm.
You two are both so positive about not only your visual impairment, but of course I get to work with you and see you around here, not as often as I'd like, but every time I do, you always have something fun to say, or we have a good time. I think that's important.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very important.
Yep.
We appreciate that, Dennis.
Sure. Well, we appreciate you, too, and the work that you all do. And thanks so much for taking time out of your busy day to be with us today. I think you've given our listeners a lot of inspiration and excitement, hopefully, and if especially for people who are, losing their vision. I think you've given those that may be wondering what to do, hopefully some hope and some of the things you've talked about here. So thank you very, very much for coming by today.
You are very welcome, Dennis. Glad to do it.
We'll send you the bill.
All things Outlook. This is where you find them. Outlook on Air.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us about your role here at Outlook?
My name is James Van Harvey, and I am a finisher too on the converting floor. I've been enjoying my career for 18 years. I was part-time for 3 years, and so I've only been full-time 15 years, but I totally have had a career for 18 years.
Well, that's fantastic. Awesome. What first brought you to Outlook, Nebraska? In other words, how did you hear about us?
I overheard an acquaintance on a bus on the way home from a Omaha Association of the Blind meeting one year back in 2007. So I figured I might as well try out and apply for the job.
That's fantastic.
They needed openings at 10,000 J Street because they were doing rebouts of Oriental Trading, Lynn Roberts, and Majors Plastics, master covers and filters.
So you were actually a part of Outlook before Outlook even moved to this location where we are today.
Yes, indeed.
Boy, that's fantastic. Yeah, you've been with us quite some time.
Yes.
What do you enjoy most about working here?
I've enjoyed working with the co-workers and going out with friends from the company once in a while. Sometimes I'll partake in enrichment activities such as bowling and throw ball, golf clinic for the blind in conjunction with the Tee It Up for Sight fundraiser, which was held the first week of June.
And you're also quite the accomplished musician, I hear, as well.
I also play the violin for various company events. I volunteered to play my violin for a Halloween costume contest. I was the fiddling Santa Claus.
That's great.
And from then on, they've asked me to play the violin for Christmas events.
Mm-hmm. And you enjoy that, don't you?
Yes, I have.
That's fantastic, James. We enjoy it too, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much.
How has Outlook helped you grow both personally and professionally?
Oh, it's helped me develop my skills, and it's helped me to make friends and acquaintances. And I also get to interact with people like you.
Well, I appreciate that. What's a moment or memory that you've had at Outlook that has really stuck with you over the years?
I remember a former associate named Robert Lockwood who used to do amateur radio, and I went ahead and acquired a license for such, and Robert Lockwood was my Elmer, as they call him. They call him Elmers. An Elmer is a amateur radio instructor who teaches newbies by training them how to use the radio, and you go through three levels. The technician is the lowest level, and then the general, and then the extra class level is the highest an amateur radio operator may hold.
Mm-hmm. So that's a great hobby for you, something else you enjoy doing besides working here.
I enjoy doing 5 and 10K runs, and I also enjoy swimming and cycling. So I have participated in triathlons. Mm-hmm. I have a sighted guide named Philip Hunt who swims, bikes, and runs with me.
What's one thing that you wish more people knew about what we do here? If you think about Outlook and the things you do here, what would you like everybody else to know that we do here?
Well, we need more people to know that there's an adaptive training facility next to the converting facility. And there's talking adaptive computers with artificial intelligence to help them spot any problems or issues that may arise during production.
Can you share a little bit about your visual loss journey?
Oh, when I was 7 or 8 years old, I was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa, and so I had to use like large print books and closed-circuit television readers. And not too long ago, I was diagnosed with cataracts. I had to have them removed in the fall of 2022.
So you have some vision.
Thankfully, I have a lot of vision now that those cataracts are out of the way.
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic. That's very good to hear. What has been one of the biggest challenges that you've faced, with your visual impairment over the years?
My biggest challenge is that I have to rely on others for transportation, particularly at night. But thankfully, there's Uber and Moby, and my family occasionally helps me out as well.
How has your perspective on life or work changed since you experienced your vision loss?
I try to keep things in perspective and try to stay positive, and I tell myself life is too short to get too upset about anything, any setback.
Why is the mission of Outlook important to you?
It is important to me because it inspires others to do sort of the same thing, like there is more to life than eyesight.
What does it mean to you to be a role model? Maybe you've never thought of yourself as a role model, but what does it mean to you to be a role model for others, and especially the blind and visually impaired? You're definitely a role model for the blind and visually impaired community. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel really, really good knowing that others will benefit from my attitude and everything I say and do. As the old way of saying, actions speak louder than words.
I like it. I like it very much, James.
And when it comes to assembly line and triathlon, actions do definitely speak louder than words.
That's true. You mentioned amateur radio as being a hobby. Do you have any other hobbies or activities that you love doing in your free time?
Alluding to what I said earlier, I also enjoy athletic activities, like especially triathlon with Philip Hunt as my sighted guide. I also enjoy singing in the church choir, as well as playing the violin and piano.
Yeah, so music plays a big part in your life.
Oh, it's a huge, huge part of my life.
Yes.
Along with athletic activity.
So think about this for a second, James. If Outlook had a mascot or a theme song, what do you think it should be?
Well, the mascot should be like a roll of toilet paper, wearing sunglasses or a hat, and I don't think there's any music that I can think of.
What advice, James, would you give to someone who's just beginning to lose their vision?
I would try to tell them that it's not the end of the industrial world, and there is vision beyond sight, as the Outlook Nebraska's motto is. So I would just tell them there is vision beyond sight.
As we start wrapping things up here, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners, either about your journey or about Outlook?
Just like Tasty Taysom, just keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
I like it.
Me too. I love that.
Yep. That's sage advice, that's for sure. Yeah. So on that note, what gives you hope for the future, both for yourself and for the blind and visually impaired community?
It's just a matter of having the courage to take that first big step. Sort of like what Neil Armstrong says, one step for man and one giant leap for mankind. It's just a matter of taking that first small step, and then eventually you'll make that big leap for the rest of the blind community.
Well, James, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to be with us today. We appreciate all your answers. And
as Jose says, oh, no, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. We'll get you back here again at some point, I'm sure, for other Outlook things. And you're a very active part of our community, so I'm sure we'll be talking to you again. But thank you so much for coming in today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, folks, I'm afraid that's all the time we have for this edition of Outlook on Air, but we certainly hope you've enjoyed the program. We hope to see you back here again for another edition of Outlook on Air. And if you'd like more information about Outlook Enrichment, or anything Outlook for that matter, make sure you visit our website at www.outlooken.org. That's www.outlooken.org. Or you can always call us for more information or to schedule any kind of an appointment at area code 531-365-5051. That's area code 531-365-5051. And don't forget to subscribe to our monthly newsletter so that you can find out when the next podcast is available. And we hope to see you then on the next edition of Outlook on Air.